The murky world of political alliances has long been a fertile ground for speculation, and recent revelations suggest we may have witnessed one of the most explosive deals yet. Just weeks after Robert F. Kennedy Jr., RFK Jr., mysteriously suspended his presidential campaign and endorsed former President Donald Trump, a bombshell has dropped. Trump's campaign allegedly paid Kennedy's law firm at least $100,000. Coincidence or corruption? Documents uncovered by investigative group American Muckrakers appear to show that this payment may have been part of a calculated quid pro quo, throwing a new spotlight on the relationship between the two unlikely allies. This scandal is a twist that many political analysts did not see coming. RFK Jr., known for his environmental activism and controversial anti-vaccine stance, had previously denounced Trump in the harshest terms, even suggesting that his wife would divorce him if he ever endorsed Trump. Now, with legal contracts leaked and the Federal Election Commission FEC documents looming on the horizon, the public is left wondering, was this a genuine change of heart, or is there a deeper game at play? The alleged contract leak. The story broke when American Muckrakers, a watchdog group with a history of uncovering political misdeeds, released leaked documents that reportedly detail a $100,000 payment from Donald Trump's campaign to the law firm where RFK Jr. works, J.W. Howard Attorneys. The legal contract, dated just days after Kennedy's public endorsement of Trump, outlines a one-time flat fee of $100,000 for political legal research. The timing of this payment has raised serious questions about whether this was a case of political bribery masked as a legal service agreement. The leaked documents show the firm J.W. Howard Attorneys listed as representing Donald J. Trump for President Incorporated, with a specific focus on political legal research regarding presidential candidate Kamala Harris. It's important to note that J.W. Howard Attorneys is primarily a business litigation firm, not known for political opposition research, further adding to the mystery. The contract is simple, bare bones, even, and was signed by Trump campaign lawyer David Warrington. The implication is clear. This was not a routine transaction, but rather a deal that coincided perfectly with RFK Jr.'s decision to endorse Trump. RFK Jr.'s public stance. To fully appreciate the weight of this revelation, we need to look back at RFK Jr.'s previous statements about Donald Trump. Kennedy had, for years, positioned himself as a critic of Trump. In one of his most notable moments, RFK Jr. quipped that if he ever endorsed Trump, his wife, actress Cheryl Hines, would divorce him. In fact, Kennedy went on record stating that he would never back Trump due to fundamental differences in values and policies. Clips from interviews where RFK Jr. harshly criticized Trump are now circulating again, making his sudden shift of support all the more perplexing. For Trump, RFK Jr. had long been seen as a Democratic plant, a figure placed in the political race to pull votes away from the Republican base and swing the election in favor of Joe Biden. Trump's public posts about Kennedy were scathing, accusing him of being an anti-gun extremist and a radical environmentalist whose views were more aligned with China than with the United States. Trump had even said that he would prefer Biden over RFK Jr., calling him a wasted protest vote. So what changed? Why would RFK Jr. suddenly endorse the man he had once vilified? And why would Trump, who had disparaged RFK Jr. in the past, now welcome his endorsement? The $100,000 payment. Quid pro quo? The timing of RFK Jr.'s endorsement of Trump, coming just days after the law firm he works for received a hefty payment from Trump's campaign, has led many to wonder if there was more than just a political alliance at play. Could this be a clear example of quid pro quo? A quid pro quo refers to a favor or advantage granted in return for something. In this case, the suspicion is that Trump's campaign paid RFK Jr.'s law firm for legal research, which conveniently coincided with RFK Jr. publicly supporting Trump. The fact that the firm in question, J.W. Howard Attorneys, specializes in business litigation, not political research, raises even more red flags. Why would Trump's campaign seek legal research on Kamala Harris from a firm that doesn't specialize in that area? Was the $100,000 payment really for legal services, or was it a thinly veiled bribe to secure RFK Jr.'s endorsement? The retainer agreement is suspiciously vague about the exact nature of the services being provided. It states that the firm would conduct political legal research regarding presidential candidate Kamala Harris, but the firm's website describes its expertise in business litigation, not opposition research. This discrepancy has led many to question the legitimacy of the contract. Political strategy and manipulation. RFK Jr. has maintained that his decision to endorse Trump was based on his political strategy to disrupt the two-party system. He claimed that by staying on the ballot in blue states, he could offer voters an alternative without harming Trump's chances of winning. In red states, he would remove himself from the ballot to avoid acting as a spoiler. But is that the real reason? Critics argue that RFK Jr.'s sudden shift in loyalty and his strategic maneuvering to benefit Trump are indicative of a behind-the-scenes deal. His suspension of his campaign appears to have been timed to give Trump an edge in battleground states while weakening the Democratic Party's chances in blue states. It's a move that has left many scratching their heads, wondering if RFK Jr. has become a pawn in a larger political game. The political landscape has always been rife with backdoor deals and shadowy alliances, but this alleged payment takes things to a whole new level. Trump, a master at manipulating media narratives and political relationships, may have found in RFK Jr. a surprising ally willing to bend his principles for a price. Trump's history of transactional politics. This isn't the first time Donald Trump has been accused of using his wealth to secure political favors. Throughout his career, Trump has been at the center of numerous allegations involving transactional politics, where money changes hands in exchange for political influence. From his involvement with foreign governments to allegations of pay-to-play schemes during his presidency, Trump has consistently faced scrutiny over his financial dealings. The payment to RFK Jr.'s law firm seems to follow this familiar pattern, using money to buy political loyalty. In this case, the $100,000 payment to J.W. Howard attorneys is small compared to some of Trump's previous deals, but the timing and the implications make it a significant moment in this election cycle. It's worth noting that RFK Jr. isn't the only high-profile figure to have allegedly received money from Trump in exchange for political support. Numerous reports over the years have suggested that Trump has used his vast fortune to sway politicians, business leaders, and even foreign dignitaries to his side. The RFK Jr. payment, if proven to be a bribe, would be yet another example of how Trump leverages his wealth for political gain. Legal and ethical questions. As the FEC deadline approaches, all eyes are on the Trump campaign's financial disclosures. If the $100,000 payment is listed, it could trigger a new wave of investigations into whether any campaign finance laws were broken. Under federal law, it's illegal to use campaign funds for personal expenses or to bribe public officials. If the payment to J.W. Howard attorneys is found to be a bribe disguised as a legal fee, Trump's campaign could face serious legal consequences. Additionally, the ethical questions surrounding this deal are significant. Even if the payment is technically legal, the optics of a political candidate receiving a large sum of money in exchange for an endorsement are troubling. RFK Jr. was once a vocal critic of Trump, and the sudden shift in his political stance, coupled with the timing of the payment, makes this situation look deeply unethical. The public has a right to know whether RFK Jr. and Trump struck a deal behind closed doors, and whether money played a role in influencing Kennedy's endorsement. If true, this would be a betrayal of the democratic process, where political endorsements should be based on shared values and principles not financial transactions. The fallout. As the story continues to unfold, both RFK Jr. and Donald Trump are facing increasing scrutiny. For RFK Jr., the fallout could be devastating. Once seen as a maverick willing to challenge both major political parties, his reputation now risks being tarnished by allegations of corruption. His supporters, many of whom valued his independent voice, may feel betrayed by the possibility that he sold out to Trump for a quick payday. For Trump, this scandal could be yet another addition to his long list of legal and ethical battles. Although his supporters have remained loyal through countless controversies, the alleged payment to RFK Jr. adds a new layer of intrigue to Trump's re-election bid. If the FEC documents confirm the payment, Trump could face even more legal challenges, further complicating his already tumultuous campaign. The alleged $100,000 payment from Donald Trump's campaign to RFK Jr.'s law firm has raised serious questions about the integrity of their political alliance. While both sides claim that the payment was for legal services, the timing and nature of the contract suggest otherwise. As investigators and journalists dig deeper into the story, the truth behind this alleged quid pro quo may soon be revealed. In the end, this could be a defining moment for both RFK Jr. and Donald Trump, with far-reaching implications for the 2024 election and beyond.